Monday.
Welcome to the Habits to Goals podcast with Martin Grunberg. It's time to take control of your life. Are you ready to achieve goals faster and more consistently than ever before? You need the habit factor. You're listening to Habits to Goals, the podcast that helps you create the habits that lead to success. And here is Martin Grunberg.
Alrighty, here we go. Woohoo! Welcome back. Thank you for joining me. This mind bullet, and I should back up and say, if you're new to the show, you have reached Habits to Goals, which is the only podcast that is consistently reminding you, of course, based on the ideas in the habit factor, that when you align and craft intentionally habits to your goals, you achieve them more quickly. The analogy we like to use is putting the wind at our back or sailing, and it's called running with the wind. Rather than working from a to-do list, focus on core recurring behaviors that support your goal. So enough of the open. Today's podcast, this is a doozy. It's probably the most risqué or risky or both. And it's just this term I can't shake. And if you go back to, we did an episode adding controls and constraints to your life. I'll go back and find that. I'll link to it. But I don't want to stop the flow here. So adding controls and constraints, and I can't shake this idea. I think it was Aristotle said discipline equals freedom, and we talked a great deal about that. And then I have no man is free who cannot command himself, and I believe that's Epictetus. No man is free, no woman is free, no person is free who cannot command themselves. So it's this idea of, again, controls and constraints. And so we're revisiting this idea, and the term is this. This is why I said risky or risqué. Comfort whore. And it's just, have you become a comfort whore? That's W-H-O-R-E. And as I tend to do, so I'm thinking this is semi-original term, but I'm finding it hard to believe it's totally original, so I do a quick Google search, and this is obviously risky anytime you're Googling something with the word whore in it. And whoa, tell me we haven't lost that. So it looks like it's some pickup site, an adult site. So fair warning, Google at your own risk. But I actually love what is written here. At this time, it's the very top result, comfort whore. And the person writes, as Tony Robbins stated, it's one who basically no, let me get this straight. He's not using the term comfort whore based on what I'm skimming here. It's just this idea that short-term comfort leads to long-term pain. So selling out your long-term goals, and I guess this is where I was getting the term in my head somehow, was this idea selling out yourself for short-term pleasure, instant gratification, and what you're exchanging is your long-term satisfaction, contentment, goal achievement. So this is what pops up, and it just says, something about, the candy bar tastes good now, but it's weight gain later. Smoking is fun and easy now, but probably not a fun way to die from lung cancer. And I'm not going to read this because I think you're getting the point. In fact, I was looking at it. I'm trying to get this out of my head. Although there was an image there, a poster. It's pretty funny. It says, "I'm not lazy. I just like to relax a lot." And it's a pretty funny image. So again, Google that at your own risk, comfort whore. But what I was getting at was this idea that at first impulse, we just look at the cookies and go, we take the cookies. We look at the soda and we take the soda. It's comfortable. And so we do the easy thing as opposed to the hard thing. And again, this idea, this term, comfort whore, I think it's a bit thought-provoking. I guess nobody really wants to be considered a whore. But if at every turn we leave work earlier as opposed to staying later, we don't go to the gym, we watch TV, we park as close to the entrance as we can rather than park far away and walk. We eat this because we want it. We eat that because we want it. We sleep in. We do this. And so now you're probably like, screw him. I'm turning this off. This isn't meant to beat anybody down. The idea is it's a checkup from the neck up. Absolutely, we need comfort. And then we need to do the hard thing. And then we need comfort. And we need to oscillate. The question is, and it's in the results tell us fairly quickly if we are a comfort whore. That's the results may be whatever our weight is, whatever our achievements are or are not. Are we selling long-term gain for short-term gratification? Instant gratification. So I was chatting with actually my 17-year-old daughter the other day, and somehow I brought this up in some form or fashion. I don't believe I was using this term. And the point is, I said, it's this instant gratification. It's this microwave generation. We've all been able to get a hot meal within 30 seconds. Don't have to wait for this. Don't have to wait for that. We've talked about all this on prior episodes. But at a certain point, she hit me with one of my classic stories that I had forgotten about. So in her psych class, they cited, I think it's the Stanford 4-year-old cookie study. And I probably have all those details wrong. But I'll give you the gist of it. They put kids, 4-year-olds in a room. They put cookies on a table and they say, hey, look, kids, we're going to split for about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. If you do not eat the cookie, when we come back, you will get 2. Therefore, and it turns out, and this is the way I remembered the study, and this is the way my daughter was explaining it to me. Turns out that they follow the participants, the kids, into adulthood, and the ones who had the ability to delay the instant gratification at 4 prove to be more successful in terms of, I'm guessing, financial means later in life. And, that's another great comfort whore. It's easy, it's comfortable to buy the thing you want, whether it's the radio, the computer, the new shirt, the new hat, the sunglasses. What's not so comfortable is putting money aside that you're not going to be touching. So these are mini disciplines, but really nobody's born disciplined. The fact is, it's a habit that we develop and strengthen over time. Now, is there a chance that some people have a greater propensity, perhaps, to be more disciplined? Maybe, but the fact is, it is a habit and it's something you can develop over time. So all these different episodes are colliding here because we've talked about discipline and habits. We've talked about patience and instant gratification. And now here we are on this simple idea of have we, and it's not even necessarily through any fault of your own, become a comfort whore. Zig Ziglar used to always say, and he said it about himself when he was overweight, I chose to be overweight. And people challenged him, or he would say that about other people who were overweight. And this is his statement, so I'm not trying to offend anybody. He says, absolutely, it's a choice. I've never seen like somebody consume food without making the choice. But somewhere deeper at a more subtle level, it's a comfort decision. It's like it's the easy thing to do. And I don't want to make this just about food. There's like, whether it's cigarette smoking or chewing tobacco, it's like, or you get home and it's a beer or two or three or whiskey. That was actually why I started the controls and constraints. Well, I did the episode, but I had implemented those constraints on myself because I found that I was not liking this idea of one whiskey or two whiskey a night, even though I'm sure some study somewhere says that's fine. I thought that was too much. So I was like, and I still am, I limit 3 nights a week. Some weeks I'm less, some weeks I'm more, but on average, it's right around there. But you come home from a 10, 12-hour day, very easy, very comfortable to pour a little shot of whiskey or crack a beer. What would be hard and challenging and increase your discipline, which is a habit, is to not do that. So I recognize probably preaching to the choir to some or many of you, but I think this is very applicable because habit works both ways. And the stronger the comfort habit gets, right? It's the flywheel and it just gets more and more momentum. So we got to nip it in the bud right away, add some controls and constraints. Do not become a comfort whore. Well, I recommend against it. You're absolutely invited to do what it is you want. Oscillate, find the balance, implement controls and constraints, and do the hard stuff. All right, now I'm done. Probably went a few minutes longer than we needed, but I think it's good to kind of marinate on this and look at it from many, many angles, and I think we just did that. Comfort's bombarding us in this day and age. See, I'm still going, and it's hitting us from all angles. So now Now I think I'm done. Do not forget, for the FAF, the Frequently Asked Friday, if you write a review on iTunes and you put your question in it, chances are almost 100% that will turn into an FAF episode, and we will read that on the air and answer that. So I'd love that. Create a review on iTunes, add your question there, add your comment. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you very much. And start implementing some controls and constraints. Track it. See ya. Hey, really quick, I just want to remind you, if you want to grab your habits and goals tracking template, the template that started it all, you can get that really quickly. Just text me at 33444 and simply text the word habits. That is habits, HABITS, to 33444, and you will get the tracking template immediately. All right. Thank you so much for listening to the show. Thanks for dropping a quick review. It'll take you less than 30 seconds if you're getting value. And with that, I will see you on the next Mind Bullet Monday. I'm out.